blind you with science. What's up, guys? The way I did the intro the way I did it because I'm kind of in the middle of a great debate, and that great debate is partially on Facebook because people are of the opinion that you're supposed to run extremely heavy oil in these engines. Now Nate is warming up that engine, that's a 300, the 352 Gravely. It's equipped with the Kawasaki FX801V 25.5 horsepower engine. As you can see, here it comes. We're going to bring that thing to operating temperature because the debate is at over 90 degrees, you can run up to 20 W50, and that's just not true. That weight oil is too thick for these engines, and we're going to prove it today with science. Now, while Nate is he's driving the Kingdom Come, like I said, he's trying to bring the engine temperature up, the engine up to operating temperature. He's going to be cutting grass in his field here in a minute. But the great debate is why and what determines what temperature, what temperature range is safe to use what oil. Now, the book says one thing, and that's what most people go on, but there's also another determining factor. You have to determine what your engine temperature runs at when it's as hot as it's going to get, and that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So let's let Nate get this thing warmed up and we'll get going. Now, remember me saying I'm going to blind you with science? Well, that's what we're fixing to do right now. It's about 10 after 5, about 93, 94 degrees, but I want you to see something. You see this monitor right here? Now I'm going to shoot the back of this Jeep. Right there. It's 135 degrees, 135.5 degrees on that metal. The consensus is it's the air temperature that determines what oil you should operate or you should use in your machine. But that's not the only one. A lot of people do not check the actual temperature of your motor, of the engine. And that's what we're going to do in this video. You hear Nate running this thing. He's been running it now since I started the video, and then I'm going to bring him over here into the field and let him cut some grass to get that engine as absolutely hot as it can be in this temperature. And it's hot out here. I mean, it is hot. Now, I'm in the shade right now, but even in the shade, it's about 90 degrees. All right, when you come back, you start cutting. Now, I'm gonna get over here where I can video him. I'm gonna speed this footage up so the video won't be so long. But you have to take into consideration that the operating temperatures of most of these engines, they're guessing around 400 to 450 degrees. They don't. I mean, they do not run nowhere near that hot. He just turned the blades on. Yeah, he got that crazy mask on. He's already chewed up one wall, and he don't want to chew up another one. But I told him to drive it like he stole it. Well, like I said, I want that motor to be, that engine to be as hot as it can possibly get. Good Lord have mercy, it's hot out here. Alright guys, I'm going to bring him back. That should be enough with as long as he's running, and we'll see you back up top. Alright guys, this next segment is going to be kind of noisy, but I have to do it this way to keep the engine at operating temperature. And you saw Nate, he's been running it the whole time. Now let's check the actual temperature of the engine in 3 different spots. We're going to be checking the block, right where the oil dipstick goes down in. We're going to be checking the head, right where the spark plug is. And we're going to be checking the exhaust. Now the theory is, or the myth is, that these engines at peak performance, at top operating temperature, are anywhere from 385 to 425 degrees. And I'm fixing to prove to you that is not true. So let's try it. It's 195. Where both cylinders comes out. That's about 180 degrees. Now, let's make it quiet. Alright guys, you saw those temperatures. The hottest temperature on the entire engine after all of that running, after all that cutting, was the exhaust. It was not the block or the cylinder where the spark plug is. And you saw that on film. You saw it just a second ago. These engines are reported to run anywhere from, I said in the beginning, 275, and I'm going to correct myself, 275 to 500 degrees. And they don't. They do not. Now this book goes by air temperature alone because they're air-cooled engines. But there's a part of that they leave out. You do not need extremely heavy oil. And here's what I want to show you. Now, I have to take my sunglasses off, and immediately the gnats start zooming in on my eyes. I got to get my specs out so I can actually read and be accurate. I got to take Nate's wallet out of my pocket. Now here he comes again. He got a different mask on now. But we're in the South. We don't do Celsius. We do Fahrenheit. Well, in this book, and I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna show it to you in just a second. 10W30 SAE 5W. Well, I'm gonna start from the bottom. 5W20 says it's safe down to about 2 degrees Fahrenheit up to 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Then 10W30 goes from 14 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to about 89 degrees Fahrenheit. 10W40 goes from 14 degrees. Now we're in the South. It's very, 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 very rare it gets down to 14 degrees. It just don't. But that goes all the way up to, I said 10W40, 10W30. It goes up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. 10W40 starts again at 14 degrees, and it goes all the way up past 104 degrees. Now, depending on what part of the country you live in, if you live in South Texas, it may get hotter than that. I've got my buddy David, he lives in Arkansas. And he says up there, or out there, because we're in North Carolina, he's in Clinton, Arkansas. He says he runs 10W40 in his mower, and it gets 115, 118 degrees out there, less the heat index. With the heat index, it's over 120 degrees, and he still runs 10W40. Well, the great debate is the next one up, which is 20W50. 20W50, it drops, if your area drops below 32 degrees, you need to change that oil. It goes up to about 106 degrees. Now, how many areas of the country do you know of that every day of the week it gets 106 degrees or above? Not including the heat index. I'm talking about the actual temperature. The actual temperature. Now, I'm going to make sure this is in the shot. Now, here's the book right here, and this is the great debate. You see those? I'm gonna hold it there so you can pause it and look at it. Okay, that's the book, guys. Now, this diagram right here is based. I talked to a dealer today. I asked them very, very pointed questions because I knew we were going to be filming this video today. I asked him, I said, can I talk to one of your mechanics? He said, yeah, walk out in the shop and talk to her. Well, one just happened to come in. Now, Nate had stepped outside. Well, actually, he had stepped over and was looking at some other mowers. But I asked him, I said, his name is Jimmy. I said, let me ask you something. I said, what is the operating range of these engines? He said, well, they say they go up to 500 degrees. He said, but I've never seen one that hot. He said, the reason why, he said, the valve seals in these engines is made of a material that at that temperature, they will melt. He said it won't hold that temperature. So that's what gave me the idea to check the actual temperature and see what it was. Guys, these engines do not run anywhere near as hot as they say. They're air cooled, but they do not run as hot. And I want to show you why. Come here, Nate. I want to show you why. You see this right here? In case you don't know what this is an oil cooler. As the engine is running, see, I can put my hand on it. It's not hardly hot at all. It gets hot when you leave it on there, but air passes through these fins.
It's like a radiator for
yeah,
oil.
and if you can, let me see, Nate. I don't know. Yeah, let me have it down here. If you look at this thing, you can see it looks. Let me get a different angle on it. You see them lines going parallel, not hard, well, vertical. Those are actual oil lines. And you can see an oil line coming in here, and then it going out here, or going in here and coming out here, whichever. I don't know exactly which one. But anyway, that cools the oil. And it cools it enough that the engine, as you saw, does not get anywhere near as hot as they are claimed to be. You saw the temperature range. Now, what we're going to do now, we're going to take the numbers. Nate got them written down for me. And we're going to take those numbers, we're going to add them together and average them out. And that will give you an average operating temperature of around where this engine is actually operating at any given time. Guys, I had to put these back on. The gnats are killing me. All right, average those or add those numbers together, those three numbers, and average them out and see what the actual number is, a mid range of what that engine is running.
Add them together in what?
Call them out as you're adding them together, the three numbers.
I already clicked add. It was 190, 210, and 294 in that order, though.
Yeah, right.
694 is the.
All right, now average that out. Divide them by 3. Average them out.
231.3.
There you go, guys. Now it's
technically 231.3333333.
Yeah. As you can see, 10W40 is well within the range of safe operation for these engines. As you saw, guys, 231.33 degrees. Now, if you look at this book, you will see temperature range of 104 degrees for 10W40. It actually goes to about 110. That is based on the fact that these engines run much hotter than they actually do. Now again, it's 94 degrees out here. Until we get to late July and August around here, North Carolina, in case you don't know where we're at, we are 22 miles east of Fort Bragg. We only have few days that's hotter than 100 degrees. But I want to show you something. You see this picture right here? That is a oil pump for one of these engines. It's nothing more than a gear, and it drives like a pressurized system. Well, if you look at this picture, you'll see a little pin right in the middle of that. The mechanic I talked to today told me, he said the problem that most people encounter is when you run 20W50 on a consistent basis, that gear begins to wobble, and it eventually shears that pin off. And because the oil is too thick, these engines do not run as hot as it is foretold they do. An average car engine runs 220 degrees, and it's water cooled. And these engines are only air cooled. That's how good a job that oil cooler does. It keeps the oil cool enough. And see, what most people don't understand, oil absorbs heat. It takes the heat out of the metal components in the engine. It don't only lubricates it, it takes the heat out. And that oil cooler dissipates it and keeps the engine from overheating. It's not just about the air temperature, guys. It's about the efficiency of the oil in the engine. The thicker the oil, the more heat it's going to hold. I know there's a lot of guys out there going to comment and say, you're full of crap. No, I'm not. This is science. Oil holds heat. Just like water. That's why we have radiators in our cars, to dissipate the heat, to cool the water down. The higher the temperature thermostat you have, the longer the water stays in the radiator. Well, this is a constant flow system. So that 20W50 oil holds, and this is, again, science, for every 10 numbers higher in oil you go, the oil stays 15 degrees hotter. So actually, when you use 20W50 in your engine, you're making it run hotter. And that's what the mechanic told me. Now, is that dangerous? No, not in temperature speak, but in wear speak and shear speak, to me, it just ain't worth it. 10W40 is more than sufficient to cool your engine, to lubricate your engine, and extend the life of your engine. Now, I did a video here a while back on doing 10W30. Well, I was told 30 was a little bit too light. So now I've graduated up. Well, let me rephrase that. I left a very important part out. The 400, if you follow the channel anytime, you know which mower I'm talking about. The 400 has 1,800 hours on it. And they said, with the wear that engine already has, it's still in phenomenal shape. It's got great compression. It still runs fantastic. But with the hours it's got on it, it is perfectly safe to run 10W40. So I asked them about this engine, because it has just under 500 hours. And they said, yeah, you can run 10W40 in it too. So that's why I'm doing this video. Guys, you don't need 20W50 in your engines. It's going to cause way more problems in the long run than it's going to solve. You can change oil a few hours more frequently, a few hours sooner with 10W40, and you will be safe. So anyway, that's going to do it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Be sure and click the like button and the subscribe button. Click the notification bell and hype the video, please. There's a little button down there between the video and the description that says hype. It's right there in line with the like button. Scroll over there and hype this video. Hyping the video tells the algorithm to send it out to more people. So anyway, that's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Brian with the Big South Outdoors TV, reminding you to live big, live southern, and live outdoors. Until the next one, guys, have a good one.